What I do have a problem with is the lack of offensive linemen. And that's why, I mean, I think it was such a interesting juxtaposition. Saleh comes back after 4 years being with the Jets, and he's building a defense that's way different than the one he had the first time with the Niners. I mean, a huge defensive line, not a lot of pass rushers, all about stopping the run. Meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan's offense hasn't evolved at all. First pick, obviously wide receiver. Of course, he doesn't address the offensive line until the 7th round. And what was interesting, we asked John Lynch after day 3, he said, like, hey, were you expecting not to really address the offensive line until really late? Or were you trying to take someone earlier and it just didn't work out? And Lynch is like, yeah, it wasn't the plan to wait this long. We wanted to take an offensive lineman earlier. It's just, the board didn't really match up. And every time we were on the clock, the offensive lineman that we wanted wasn't there. Which sounds like such a reasonable thing to say. It's like, hey, we don't have anything against offensive linemen. We love offensive linemen. It's just one of those things. It's just how life is and how the draft broke. I mean, there's a scenario where we could have drafted 8 offensive linemen. I mean, really, it's out of our control. There's only so much you can control. Sounds good. I just don't buy it. Here's why. The Niners didn't make one trade this year, not one. There were a ton of trades. General managers often make a lot of trades. It's what they like to do. Not the Niners. No trade ups, no trade downs. You got to move around a little bit. You can't just be passive during the draft. If there's a guard you like in round 4, but he's not going to be there at pick 138, trade up to pick 135. Other teams did it routinely. Pick up a phone. See what it takes. I know you were dying to draft Curtis Rourke in round 7, but maybe you could have parted with some of those 7th round picks, move up a little bit, and take an offensive lineman you like who will make the team. Because you might like Connor Colby, but he's probably not going to make the team because his arms are really freaking short. Prize Picks is sponsoring the Cohn Zone this year. Prize Picks is the leader in daily fantasy and the best place to win cash while watching sports. And the best part about the app is it's really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. I'm a Niners guy. So, when I'm doing Prize Picks, I'm looking, the last couple of years, I'm looking at Deebo Samuel because I know Deebo Samuel better than Deebo Samuel knows Deebo Samuel. So if it's like drops, I'm taking more. Or if it's like punches thrown towards his long snapper on the sideline during the 4th quarter of a game, the 49ers will go on to win. I'm smashing more because I know the 49ers and I'm a Prize Picks guy. Now, maybe they didn't have those exact plays, but they have so many plays that'll make your head spin. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best part about it is the new user offer. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. So win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing. That sounds like a win to me. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to claim your $50 today. Tell them Grant sent you. So, I don't know. It's not like the Niners were going to be in a position in this draft where they're like, hey, we wanted to completely revamp our defensive line. It's just that whenever we were on the board, we didn't really like the defensive lineman available. So we took a bunch of DBs and wide receivers, and our starting defensive line next year is going to be terrible, but oh well. They didn't do that. They didn't leave it to chance. Now, they didn't trade up for any defensive linemen, but they reached for guys they really wanted because they were not going to let CJ West get taken. They were not going to let Alfred Collins get taken by someone else. Those were the guys they wanted. They got him. There was clearly no offensive lineman that the Niners had to have. Now, in fairness to Kyle, maybe he felt like, hey, man, if I had been allowed, or if we had taken an offensive player in the first 113 picks, we would have taken an offensive lineman. But we went all defense. So when we finally got to the offensive portion of the draft, we didn't like the offensive lineman. Fine. But you know what? The Eagles took offensive linemen late, and they have a better offensive line than you. If the Eagles like offensive linemen late, you should like offensive linemen late too, because theoretically, those guys have even less of an opportunity to make that team. I mean, how are they going to get on the field? On the Niners, they could. So I think, I mean, I like the running back pick, honestly. I like the safety pick. And then when you get to round 7, it's too late to take an offensive lineman that matters. So to me, that wide receiver pick, 138, nothing against Jordan Watkins. He could end up being a fine player, but that was your opportunity to really take an offensive lineman. You could have traded up a few spots, traded down a few spots, whatever. But that was it.